let's bring in Jen and the Money Men, VP of the Commonwealth Foundation and fellow at Independent Women's Forum, Jennifer Stefano, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor, Seth Denson, and America's accountant, Dan Geltrude. Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, let's start off, as we always do, with, of course, the markets. There was little movement yesterday with the Nasdaq dropping 82 points, followed by S&P 500 down 16, while the Dow virtually unmoved up 1 point. This morning, the futures, well, they're mixed as well. Jennifer, what did investors see yesterday? Do you think it's going to carry into tomorrow? What can we expect?
Well, I think it's not so much what the investors are seeing, it's what they're wishing for. And that is a return to 2019 when the S&P 500 went up by 29%. And even in the middle of the pandemic, you were up almost over 16% that year as well. And then there was a stunning rebound in 2021, a 27% increase. Now, you think about that kind of ROI, that kind of return, they're on the hunt for that, but they're not finding it. They're concerned that what buoys the S&P 500 are 5 to 6 major tech stocks. Everything else is sluggish. They're looking at the next hit, and they're really worried they're not going to see it with inflation coming. Let's
pivot now to airlines. I know that we've seen so many videos come out in the news of airlines, women on them being assaulted, a lot of crime happening on them. People are angry about the mask mandates. Flight attendants have had to put up with a lot this year. Because of that, Delta's CEO has asked U.S. officials to put any airline passengers who becomes a disruption on a flight on a national no-fly list. Unruly passengers is up 100%. Dan, do you think this is going too far, or is there a way to do this where we can protect our flight attendants, protect people on flights, but also not take away people's liberties?
Well, we have to define what unruly is, and I don't think one punishment fits every single crime. So, look, we can't have people on flights disrupting, the passengers and all the people that are working on the flight. At the same time, we have to be careful of an overreaction to what a passenger may be doing or saying. I don't particularly think someone who takes off their mask, for example, in flight should be on the no-fly list. At the same time, someone who is assaulting someone else should be. So I think we should take it very seriously, but I think it's a case-by-case basis.
And Seth, we've been following Peloton, all the news surrounding this company right now. John Foley, Peloton CEO, has announced he will be stepping down from his position. The company has also announced they're going to get rid of, I think it was about 2,800 jobs as they try to restructure. We know that Peloton might be sold to a larger company. What do you think the future looks like for Peloton and with Foley stepping down?
Yeah, listen, I think that specifically with Peloton, I heard America's accountant Dan Geltrude talking about this over the weekend in a great segment about Peloton needs to get bought by somebody. They absolutely need to get bought by somebody. If you think about their rise during the pandemic, their stock went up astronomically. It skyrocketed over 300%, and now they've lost all those gains. It's back down to pre-pandemic levels. So I think what's going on with Peloton is they need a refresh. There's a lot of competition in the space. They need to take the cues from organizations like Mirror, at-home fitness organization that partnered with Lululemon. I know that Amazon is talking to Nike. They're talking to Amazon. I think they got to go that direction. Investors need them to go that direction so they can start to try to squeeze some of those dollars back out.
And billionaire Peter Thiel has stepped down from the board at Meta, Facebook's parent company, to pursue helping support the Republican agenda that former President Donald Trump is behind. Jennifer, what do you think this means for Meta and the Republican Party? Are we going to be able to find some sort of a middle space to land on with those large social media companies?
Yeah, look, there is a big debate happening right now about whether the social media companies should be regulated like an electric company is, or whether it should be and remain free market. And I think that is an excellent question. I think one that deserves more concern and debate. Certainly on the right, between the libertarians and the conservatives, there's a lot of disparate views there. But I think Peter Thiel, when he talks about supporting the Republican agenda under President Trump, I like to think those amazing tax reforms that President Trump passed into law when he was president are actually one of the reasons that our economy is not completely in the tank today. And I'd like to see more discussion around the policies that President Trump enacted while he was president, rather than what happened from November 3rd on. I think that's the legacy that would be positive, whether or not President Trump is the president. You can still take those policies.
Right. Seth, Dan, I know we were about to run out of time, but I'm sure you guys both use Facebook a lot. You are closely watching what's happening with the social media giant, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, but there, again, just like with Peloton, there's a lot of competition in the space, and Facebook's got to find a way to rebrand. Ad sales are way down. That's why their stock is way down.
Yes, well, thank you, Jen, and the Money Men. It's Jennifer Stefano, Seth Denson, and Dan Geltrude. It's great to have you guys on this morning.
Thank you.